Yeah.
Yeah. So just hit someone on the shoulder and then they will switch you.
Does anybody else have anything to say about that question or anything to add?
Okay. We'll do something easy. I just want to know who your favorite character is and why.
I really liked Tool because he kind of reminded me of Sully from Monsters. Like I was trying to imagine what a half man would look like throughout the book, and they kind of every now and then gave little descriptors of him. But what I ended up with in my mind was the big like blue furry. I don't know. He just seemed like really kind of like mysterious and heroic, and like he cared about Naylor and Nita, but also was like programmed, I guess, to be impartial. So I don't know. I thought his character was like really complicated.
So do you want to read the next book that he wrote because it's all about Tool?
I think I would,
yeah.
but also just because I really liked the book and like the writing style, and I read what Drowned Cities was about like post-government failure, and I don't know. I thought it was really interesting.
Awesome. Cool.
Does anybody have a different character or an opinion?
Yep. Go for it.
I was gonna make Nita as my favorite character because I don't know, I felt like I could relate to her the most. She's like teenage girl who like, you know, we've grown up with more than like Naylor and Pima and everything, but I don't know. I feel like just from being in a place where you like don't know anyone and then to like overcome that and to uncomfortable and to see the beauty and poverty and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Awesome. That's great.
Okay, I have some questions. What do you think this book shows about the author's point of view, especially about like the environment?
I guess like I remember from the interview he was just saying that like he just like was really inspired by a lot of the things like environmentally, and like I think one thing that like caught my eye about like I guess in the beginning when they were just like describing how the world like looked like, it was just like crazy because like I guess he was just kind of hinting at like our world is just becoming like completely like how do I explain it, not like industrialized in the sense, but it was just like all of this like bad crap just like and like just like all the like with the like ships that were like completely broken, and like they're just like doing all these things with like oil, and just like how it was just so like dirty and grimy almost. And like even after the storm, like when Naylor was describing it, he's like he's never seen the beach so clean before, and it's crazy that like a city killer storm has to like reveal that about the place. Like a beach, you imagine like a really pretty beautiful place, relaxing, but like to them it's just like this thing, like it's just like all this like dirt and like metal and things like that. So it's just like I think the author was just trying to say that like you're just kind of like messing everything up that's supposed to be beautiful. Like New Orleans is also supposed to be this beautiful place, but like they describe it as like this kind of hellhole, like that just became like watered down.
So you think it's like a shout out kind of to the world, like we need to start taking care of it?
Yeah, just like
from an extreme point of view, I guess.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Cool. Thank you. Go for it.
I wanted to know what someone thought about the ending. Like, did you think it was like set up for a sequel, or did you think that like Naylor would return to shipbreaking, or what?
That's a great question. Thank you.
The longer you stay silent up there, the longer people are going to be staring at you.
Let's do this. If you liked the ending, thumbs up. If you didn't like the ending, thumbs down. 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right. Thumbs up. Why did you like it? 1 point. Just one reason why you liked it.
I liked it because I felt like it kind of had you thinking about what happened. Like it didn't necessarily give you a picture of what happened. You kind of have to make up that.
Yeah, so you think there's like a sequel that's gonna come after it, that's kinda,
I don't
you
think
kinda
so
made your own?
because- I don't think so because in the interview he said that he doesn't do sequel. So for sure he
Yeah.
said he wasn't going to do a sequel. But it would be nice because I want to find out what happens to the character afterwards.
I kind of liked though that like, I felt like there should be a sequel, but I feel that way about most books. You know, like I think a good ending lets you answer some questions on your own, which I appreciate in this book.
Awesome. Somebody who had their hand sideways, what'd you think? Why did it only get sideways instead of thumbs up?
I liked the ending overall, but I felt like there was some sort of stuff that was kind of like, could be answered and there could still be stuff left open for a sequel. Like I felt like in a way it wasn't totally complete.
Yeah. Do you think that Naylor will go back to shipwrecking like Owen asked?
It's hard to say because I feel like the way he changed through the book, he wouldn't necessarily be satisfied with that, but I don't know if he'd necessarily be satisfied with like being Nita's beau and living in like some one. It just does not fit him. I kind of would see him maybe working more as a part of a crew on a ship, considering he seemed to enjoy that while he was on the Dauntless, and it's kind of an in-between. It's not totally to the bottom again, but it's not totally on the top.
Great. Awesome. Do any of you guys have any more questions that you just want to know?
Okay, get one of my questions again. Let's see, okay. There are several different characters in the book who have complicated relationships with their parents. Can you maybe describe the differences between Moon Girl and her mother and Pima and her mother? And Moon Girl is the character that was on their light crew that would like pierce her skin.
Mom would not be happy about that. Or what about the difference relationship between you and your mom compared to one of the other characters and their mom? Or similarities?
Definitely a similarity between, well, I guess a little backstory. My mom is probably one of the most caring women I've ever met in my life. She's brilliant, and she's one of my, like, she's always been kind of a mom to everybody else. It's been that situation where it was like if my friend was having a hard time at her house, it was like you can come over and spend the night whenever you need to. The door was always open. And in a sense, that kind of reminds me of that relationship, as in she kind of took on the role like my mom did, in the sense of like, oh, this person doesn't have a great family life, so I'm going to help make that like awesome childhood or that awesome like experience for them, even if it was like their parents were getting a divorce. It was like she would let them come over and we'd go on vacation or we'd go to the beach. Like, she would help make those positive memories for my friends. So that's a way that I find that a similarity.
Awesome, thank you.
If you haven't been up yet, or you haven't, if you asked a question, you're good to go.
If you haven't been up yet, raise your hand.
Anybody have anything else about relationships?
Okay, I guess like how do you think Naylor would have been different in the beginning of the book if he didn't have his relationship with Pima?
I think the relationship between Naylor and Pima was kind of the closest relationship Naylor really had, because we know that his father relationship wasn't very good. I think that without Pima, I don't know how different Naylor would have been, because together I feel like they were just kind of working together and kind of put in the same position, like struggling to survive, whatever. But Naylor was just like a hard worker. Like even with Pima, he didn't talk that much. Like throughout the book, he was kind of like